Welcome back to the Simpcast, and today you got your boy Salmaan and Sumeet.
Fuck yeah!
Your signature, fuck you.
Fuck yeah! That's like the signature now. That's what it is, bro.
If we ever get one of those little button things where you have noises and sound effects, that's gonna be one of them.
one of them ones, like the sound bar, like a sound bar.
H3H3's podcasts. They have a sound thing, right? And they have all these different saves, so they just click each button anytime they want. Easy.
No, but I watch like quite a lot of YouTubers. Like there's one called Madryber. Shout out to the man, he's sick, yeah. But he's just like a soundbar and he's got like all these weird sounds. And he's like, yeah.
Oh, you watched Too Mad?
Too Mad?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
He's fucking hilarious. Watch him. But anyways, today's episode is gonna be an interesting one, right? Very interesting one.
Oh yeah, very. Actually, it's actually quite requested as well.
Yeah.
I've had a few people ask me.
Yeah, it's a very interesting one. I think it will interest a lot of females, actually, because a lot of men don't open up about their mental health. So today's episode is about toxic masculinity and
men's mental health.
Yeah, men's mental health. And we're gonna basically break it down and talk about our experience, the current problem with it, and how, as a society, we need to change the current trend that's going on.
The outlook on men's mental health. Like right now, it's getting better, but obviously back then it was like really shit.
In some aspects, it's actually getting worse. But
I guess so. Yeah,
we will.
Could say.
We will get onto that. But first,
we got the origin of the name. Come on. All right. So a few weeks back, I think I was telling you before. I was watching like My Strange Addictions. I love My Strange Addictions. Yeah, it's so
the one where the guy's
funny.
making out with his car.
Oh my god! Yeah, he makes love. No, but this is a different one. There's a guy that makes love to a table.
How do you make love to a table?
And that's the thing. How do you make love to a table? This guy, what he's doing? He's like caressing the table. He's like rubbing the table. He's like, "Yeah, you like that, baby? You like that, baby? You really like that?" Man was like, he's proper like rubbing the table, like, what? It's so strange. And he was like, you could say he's being a simp for a table. Imagine simping for a table.
That's
like, the thing is, it was like this normal ass table as well.
It's better than subscribing to 20 different streamer girls on Twitch. And,
he's not even here and you're roasting him.
We don't know who you're talking about.
Oh yeah, we don't know who you're talking about, of course. Yeah.
I haven't mentioned it.
Adam.
We mentioned it at the same time.
Bro, he's not even here and we just roast him.
Look how we're about to talk about mental health and we're bullying him now.
Yeah, but thing is, that's what makes it better, you know? Like, we're trying to make jokes over this kind of simp stuff.
Yeah.
So, the origin of the name, that's the one, the man who makes love to his table. And Adam being a simp for streamer girls. Once again.
Once again, every day.
Once again. You know what? I feel like that's going to be like a common trend now. We're just going to keep talking about it.
He's an easy target, okay? So
he is a very easy target. We do like to bully him.
Yeah, I mean, you're an easy
that
target. That
sounds so bad. Wait, what?
You are an easy target as well, but...
What's that? Is that a fat joke?
I mean, I didn't say that, but you said it yourself.
Mum was like, I could just imagine his face, like he's just got his eyes like going either side. I mean, I didn't say it.
It's called being diplomatic. Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So all right, let's get into it now. Here's where we go from it. All right, I guess I'll start really.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so first little topic, we're going to talk about how things were when like we were a bit younger. So let's go back like 15 years or something compared to like how it is now. So when I was like 4 or 5 years old, you know how like your parents, to get you to stop crying, they say like, oh, crying's for babies or crying's for little girls or something if you're a boy. Like they'll say something like that. And so you'd like stop crying. Oh, I was a bit of a wuss. Or like crying for wusses, yeah. So I guess I could say I was a wuss in, air quotes.
Yeah.
And, like I didn't let that sink in, like, oh, the crying's for wusses. Like I was a massive wuss. So by the time I was like 12ish, I stopped doing it. I just stopped crying for like no reason. Or if I was sad, I'd stop crying. I'd just like soak it up or take it on the chin or whatever,
Yeah.
And then now it's like, if you're sad, just like sort of like say you're sad. Like before, I didn't ever used to say I was sad. Like I think I said this before, like at school and stuff. Like when I was like quite depressed at school, I did actually open up about this to my parents relatively recently, like within lockdown, because lockdown got mad for me in terms of mental health, and a lot of people struggled in lockdown as well, which I think, it's
I mean,
just
it
like,
makes a lot of sense because we rely on, being social, and going and seeing other people, which just obviously distracts us, right? A lot of people, can agree that we don't always deal with our problems, at face value.
for
we
sure,
we
for
always
sure.
push them to a side and do other things, to distract us, right? So obviously going out, clubbing, and doing all that shit.
That's
distracts
the
you.
pride of a guy there,
Yeah,
which is where the toxicity comes through.
yeah. I mean, they think
Because
they're like solving their problem, but all they're doing is distracting
all we're doing is
themselves.
delaying it.
Yeah,
We're distracting ourselves, which is what I was doing. Like I was using gaming, I was using like anime, I was using YouTube videos to.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with those things, but you still.
I know
need to,
there's nothing wrong
yeah,
with those things at face value.
you still
but
need
the
to
fact
talk
that
about
I'm
those things, right? You
yeah,
get
but
over
the
them.
the fact that I'm avoiding talking about how I'm actually feeling, and instead I'm doing these things to distract myself from. It's almost like a procrastination of
Yeah,
talking about feelings,
yeah,
which
yeah,
is toxic in my mind because I'm thinking I don't want to talk about this because if I talk about this, I'm going to lose my pride as a man. But then you kind of just it makes you feel worse. But then once you talk about it, you feel better.
yeah.
So I mean, it's one of those ones where it's just like. So I'll go back to lockdown and stuff. Like obviously, I missed a lot of my friends and stuff. Obviously, I'm not allowed to go outside. It's been so long since I had a motive. But the boys and that, like I missed the boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just stuck inside, nothing to do. Like I lost my job as well throughout lockdown, and I was like proper upset about that, but I never talked about anything. And then eventually I lost my mind, and then I opened up about how I felt and shit, and things felt better, to be fair. I mean, I didn't really lose my pride at all. But that's the thing, and like if I was younger, like back in the like 15 years ago, if I had done that, somebody would have told me to man up.
Yeah.
Like what kind of toxic shit is that? What do you mean man up?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But like now it's like,
so getting over that sort of hump was a recent thing, right? It's
yeah,
not
yeah, for
something
sure.
that happened a while ago.
Yeah, this is only quite recent. It's within the last 6 months, so it's not even. It wasn't even 6 months. It was like 3, 4 months ago. I think it was like June, July, or something.
Right. So only a couple months. Yeah.
So it's only really a couple months ago. So yeah, it's mad. It's just like,
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'm studying a particular topic for business last year, and I had to do a lot of research into men's mental health and depression and all that shit. And a lot of people who have depression, it was there was a statistic where it was on average it took someone kind of 6 years to admit they had a problem, but and like sort of fix their or start fixing their problem. 6 years on average. So think about that.
so
6 years of struggling.
was that for a man or was that for just an average
just
human?
just in general, but
An average human.
also if we include men into that discussion, men obviously are like a lot of the population, well, portion size of the population that do struggle from mental health issues, comparatively to women, because obviously women, well, not obviously, but generally women are easier to talk about those things. They have their own social groups where they can talk about whatever they want, whereas for boys, I mean, very few people have their homie or person that they can talk to or
Yeah,
feel
that's the thing.
comfortable
Like
to talk to.
when you talk about like, oh yes, the boys, you don't think, oh, the boys are someone to just talk about your mental health.
It's total opposite.
boys-
You would never want to do that because
The boys are just for social, just like, yeah, that's what it is. That's another toxic thing. Like, oh, if you want to talk about mental health, they just think, yeah, well, what do you mean mental health? What, you a bitch or something? You know what I mean? They'll say some shit like that. Like, well, what the fuck you mean, man? Why are you sad for, you little bitch?
Yeah.
Like, like shit like that. Which
Crying
obviously
over a
doesn't
girl
help.
or all
Like
that
crying over
shit.
a girl, they'll be like, why crying over a girl for, you little pussy? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. What's going on? You know, like, I feel like girls are a lot better dealing with that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they
in
grew
general.
up. They grew up with speaking to their mums about those things, right?
Also, I like girls mature quicker than men too.
True. I mean, at a certain age, right? They
Yeah.
mature quicker at a certain age before men, but then men
So-
catch up.
So they know how to sort of talk about it from a younger age.
I mean, this is just generally, because
Yeah, that's just generally, of
There's
course.
some girls that obviously don't know how to open up about those types of things,
Oh yeah, like even with like guys though, like mainly with guys, obviously,
There are
whilst
some
they're like
guys that know how to
youngish.
open up and shit.
Like,
I mean,
there's probably guys like older than me that still don't open up about that kind of shit. You know what I mean?
I mean, the thing
I bet
is,
there's like 30-year-olds at 40 onwards, like even
we-
middle-aged men.
if we compare my childhood experience with my mental health, and opening up about how I feel from a very young age, I've always been open.
Really?
In comparison to you, I've always been open.
Yeah, when I was young, I always used to be enclosed. I never used to really talk about
Well, the thing
how
is,
I was feeling or
I've
whatever.
always had a very close connection with my parents, my mum especially, when it comes to being able to talk about how I feel. Even till this day, my mum knows everything about me. She knows when I'm off, when I'm good, and she's always my fallback. Anytime I'm having a really, really shit time, she knows, and she's always there to comfort me. She's not the type of mum who's gonna force me to speak about or how I'm feeling or whatever's going on, but she's just there to support. When I need it most, I can go to her when I
thing
need
is,
it.
I'm close with my parents too, to an extent as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's just obviously I chose not to speak about that kind of stuff because it's not something that I like speaking about. Like, I know parents, like, they have to worry, that kind of thing, but it's like, you just don't want to pile that on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
But then once I spoke about it, I feel like it took a weight off their shoulders too.
yeah.
I feel like they weren't as worried anymore because now they actually know what's going on.
Yeah.
And that made me feel good too.
Yeah.
Like, now I feel like everything's good.
When I
And then
was
once you talk, everything's good again. Like,
Yeah.
we're all fine now.
when I was quite young, I think about from age 6 to probably 8 or 9, I really had problems sleeping. I would always I would always overthink, and I would always get really depressed at night and start crying because
Same.
yeah, and it would be about like my parents dying and losing my family and all that shit.
Mine was like drowning or something. Or do you know? I remember watching. Do you know how was it the 2012 thing?
Yeah.
I remember back then I was like 11, 12. I couldn't sleep because I watched this thing. It was like, oh, by 2012, the ice caps are going to melt and we're all going to drown and like in a flood and the whole world's going to end. Yeah. And I used to always like be so scared, like, oh, we're all going to die, this and that. And I was like, I always used to be like awake at night and I would tell my parents, like, I can't sleep, I can't sleep.
But I was always scared of like losing my family, like from a young age, because I'm always very close with my family, everyone, my brothers and sisters and my parents. So
I feel like that goes for I feel like it's because, do you know when you learn something new?
Yeah.
And you learn that there's stuff actually out there?
Yeah.
It gives you like this
chill,
scary thing that gives you chills when you're a kid.
Yeah, like when they
but then
talk
once
about
you get that,
yeah,
when you get that sense of like, oh, well, that doesn't happen actually too often.
Yeah.
It kind of gives you that, you know what I mean, like that sort of sense of security, I guess.
Yeah. When they talk about space and how big the universe is and shit like that, and how you seem so minuscule in comparison to the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
I always get so depressed when I think about that shit, because I'm like, damn, like when I die, like it's just over. Like this whole life that I built up. You know what I mean? Gets sometimes.
I don't think about. I actually kind of hate space. I'm not gonna lie.
Why?
It's just a big black sky, really.
Big black sky.
It's just a black sky. It's nothing big, bro. I mean, it is big. There's nothing like, like important to me personally. I just think, you know what, calm. Like, it's just there,
I don't know. I always just deep that shit when I was younger.
I'd love hopefully in the future, like with space and stuff, like, we can go to another planet. Like, that'll be so. Imagine being able to travel to another planet. Forget going to another country. Nah, I want to go to Mars on holiday.
Get a Ryanair ticket to Mars.
Get a Ryanair ticket. $5 ticket.
It's only one way. You can't go back.
Hey, I wouldn't mind, bro. I wouldn't mind.
Full price.
I wouldn't mind. A one-way ticket to Mars.
You're gonna leave your bae back. Yeah. You ain't gonna take it with
Hey,
you.
you know what? I was actually chatting to her before. She's like, "You always fucking bring her up, you know."
Yeah.
she's
I'm
gonna
more
watch.
obsessed with her
She's
than
gonna
you are.
watch this. She's gonna watch this. Whoa, wait, hold up. What?
No, they didn't know anything.
Hold up. Whoa,
No,
whoa.
I'm joking.
Hey,
I'm joking.
hold up.
I'm not
hold
trying
up.
to
Hold
say you're a
up.
girl, bro. I'm not
Yo,
trying to say
whoa,
you're a girl.
whoa. What's going on?
Nothing.
Yeah, but
Continue.
yeah, she's like, you always bring her up, like, and she's just like, oh yeah. I mean, that's gonna be a thing now. She's always gonna come up, gas me up,
Yeah,
man.
but
You don't need to do this.
She's gonna make you feel jealous because
She's the number one supporter. So
number one supporter.
number one supporter of the podcast.
She was late watching the last episode.
That is true.
I'm holding that against her now. But yeah, I can say that I've always been quite open with my emotions, and that's because I've been brought up with a mother who's been very supportive with allowing me to express my feelings. She never made me feel small when I wanted to cry or I wanted to say how I was feeling. Especially having two older sisters, that helps as well.
Yeah, I grew up with an older brother and a younger brother, so we're all just kind of boys here,
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. When you have like older sisters or any sisters at all, I feel like it's easier.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if I was gonna have kids, I would always want to have a girl first and then a boy, so the boy can learn from the girl and just learn how to respect girls and women and all that shit from his sister.
Mm-hmm.
Because I learned a lot of that stuff myself by having older sisters, and a very supportive mother.
I feel that's a good reason, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen all the other shit like, oh, I'd never want a girl because this and that, all
I
that,
don't care if we're a boy
like
or a
the
girl.
sexual objectation or whatever.
Yeah,
Is that a word?
a
Objectation.
lot of people like get depressed. I mean, so many videos where it's like gender reveals and they find out they're getting
Yeah.
a girl
Oh
and they're
my,
getting pissed.
they're like getting pissed. Like,
Yeah, I wanted a boy.
idiots, man, idiots.
Yeah,
That's just so stupid. You should be happy that you're having a kid.
Oh yeah, I mean, God's blessed you to have a kid. It's not many people can have kids,
Oh,
so
I mean,
be
it's just
grateful.
like,
But
yeah,
we
be grateful.
in terms of Asians, and mental health, we can
Oh,
you and I both can say that in the Asian community, mental health isn't taken very, very seriously.
It's not even like it's not even a thing really.
Yeah, because it's not.
It's
If
not
it's not
yeah.
physical, it doesn't.
It's
exist.
not physical. It doesn't exist. Yeah. If it's something in the mind, they're like, hey, what
Even
is
if
this?
it is something physical, they should like take some ginger and paracetamol.
Put some
and you'll be
ginger
good.
paracetamol. Put some honey in your tea.
Yeah,
Put some in your chai,
some
bro. Drink that
turmeric and
chai.
shit.
Yeah, everything. Just chuck it in. They'll make some magic potion and they'll rub it on you. That's a magic potion with some leaves and they'll grind it. They'll just rub it on you.
Yeah, but
Some madness.
in Asian culture, depression and all these types of mental health problems aren't taken very serious. Especially with Asian men, there's a big pride problem.
Yeah, there is for sure.
My dad, I mean, you could probably say most Asian dads in general, they're not really expressive of how they're feeling. So if they're having a tough time or anything like that, they're not expressive of that really. They don't really open up at all. And that's not good.
I can't say that. I know like some of my uncles and stuff, like how they feel.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I actually can't tell when my dad's like sort of just he's
You
not
can tell.
upset.
You can tell
often,
when he's
really.
upset. But the thing is, he'll never.
You can tell when they're upset, but they won't come up to you.
Exactly.
No,
and
they'll
that's
just.
sad.
But you can tell. You can suss something out
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you know that their usual self is just sort of like
Bubbly and cheerful.
bubbly. Yeah, quite
You
bubbly,
can tell
quite
when
cheerful.
they're upset and shit.
You could tell when they're annoyed, when they're angry.
Oh yeah.
You
But
know,
they'll
like,
never speak their feelings though.
but they never speak it.
That's the
No,
problem.
they'll never
right?
say it. And when someone asks you, like, I'm fine.
Yeah, because the man is the head of the house.
It's like
He's supposed
it's
to get
like,
on with it, and he's supposed to be strong, right?
It's like a pride problem.
Yeah, and I
You
think
know?
that needs to change, right? It needs to
I mean,
change.
I think our generation,
We'll lead that change.
or it's going to lead the change. I think definitely. I can't see it not leading a change
Yeah,
because we're more aware of it. I guess.
yeah.
I'm not trying to be big for my boots or anything, but
But then
I'd like to say
I
we're
feel like
more
it
aware
can't
of it.
go too far the other way.
Yeah, I don't think we could revert back. Like,
No,
there's no way that we could be like, oh, nah, fuck mental health, you know?
Like,
Or
when
I don't
it-
want.
I think the biggest problem obviously is the ability to speak and say how you feel without being judged, right?
Yeah,
and
that's
so
huge.
and
That's
so
a huge thing.
Yeah, and so having someone or support group of people that you can obviously go to and speak and say and act how you feel is important. But then the thing is, you don't want to rely on that, because sometimes those people aren't always going to be there. You need to fight your own mental battles yourself.
That's the thing.
And so I've learned that myself, you know, fight your own battles.
I'm a big person on terms of I want to do things on my own, fight my own battles. Like, I don't tend to ask for a lot of help. Like, how many times have I really come to you saying, "Oh, I'm really upset"?
Very rarely. And like,
Very
sometimes
rarely.
I'll have to unless
I can't. Yeah, that's what I mean. You try to force it out of me, like, but I'm always trying to do it on my own. You know.
Yeah.
Like, I've only come to you like maybe I can count on my fingers, on one hand. Like, how many times I've come to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not many
like,
times.
Or even anyone at all. I can count on my fingers.
But like you said in the previous episode, like how you're supposed to be the fun guy, you know.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You know?
That's the persona that I created. So back when I was in college, and even just throughout school, I used to just take things on the chin, you know, just like, yeah, it's all a joke, you know, we're all fun and games. Like, I'm always smiling. On the inside, I was just kind of like, you know, just tired.
Yeah.
You know, just tired of pretending. Obviously, that was mentally draining. So that's why I guess I struggled so much. You know, that's why Sad Boy Hours was always when you know, back then.
Yeah, I can relate to that. You know.
Yeah,
we both
you know what I mean.
That
Like,
exact same thing. Especially, you know, I think that's a common trend along a lot of funny people, especially comedians. You know, laughing and making jokes is a coping mechanism. You know.
Yeah,
it's a coping mechanism.
They do say laughter is the best medicine, right?
Yeah,
so,
it is, yeah, true.
I mean, being that class clown. Thing is, I wouldn't even say I was a class clown because I wasn't even that funny. Like, genuinely, I wasn't even that funny. I'm just an idiot. I am just an idiot. Like, I just smile a lot.
You know what you should dress as for Halloween?
I'm not big on Halloween, but go on.
As a female.
Oh, you're fucking jokes. You are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should just wear like a bra.
Yeah.
Just wear a bra.
But no, actually wear lingerie.
Get a bit lingerie, you man.
I'm sure your babe would like that. You could probably rock it better than her, innit?
Oh, you're an arsehole.
Get you some extra large lingerie.
Extra large? What are you trying to say, bro?
Nothing. Not something you don't know.
Extra large? You reckon I can't fit in a thong?
No.
Your
balls will be hanging out, bro.
Oh, true say. Nah. Actually, no, yeah, it would actually. I'd have to wear Speedos instead.
Budgie smuggler. We like to call it budgie smuggler. But the reason we want to highlight men's mental health being so important, and obviously toxic masculinity being a problem when it comes to men's mental health, is because these mental health problems lead to, you know, suicide rates increasing,
for sure,
especially within men. So if we look at the UK, 3/4 of men are the victims of suicide, which is fucking shit. 3/4 of the people dying of suicide are men.
That is so fucking dumb.
Yeah. And it's in with the age range of
even in general, like, suicide is just like, it's such a massive thing. Or most of it links, all of it links to mental health, really.
Yeah.
Right? So the fact that men are, like, you know,
struggling
hurting
so much
more, they're going towards, like,
they'd rather kill themselves than open
drugs. Yeah, they'd rather kill themselves.
That's
like,
crazy.
That's why, like, the fact that they think they can't open up. They can't speak about their feelings.
And if we look at the age range of it, a lot of these guys that are suiciding is between like the age of 45 and 49.
See, there's a trend with that as well.
What is it?
Usually, well, I used to study in sociology, so I kind of have a little bit of knowledge when it comes to this. When men go through a divorce, for example, right?
Yeah.
They obviously go through like a massive like heartbreak.
Yeah.
You know, I know what that feels like. Well, not the divorce, but, you know, the other stuff.
Hopefully that never happens.
Hopefully that never happens.
And the bass stays with you forever.
I hope, yeah. But, you know, but yeah, like, if so, like a man goes through a divorce and they're kind of like, they're obviously really upset, but they don't want to open up to anyone about it. There's not too many resources for people either, really.
No, there isn't. Definitely
Like
not.
there's obviously there's some therapy, but how many
Even
people?
just the general healthcare is like, if we're talking about UK, it's shit. Like, you have to wait a very long time to just get seen or get the proper treatment. So
Yeah,
when it
but
comes to mental health, and the fact that there's even less resources for that, and there's so many people struggling in the world with their mental health, and there's just a lack of opportunity to go get help, it makes it even worse.
yeah, it's like it's difficult for people, like anyone, not even just men. Like don't forget about the other. Was it's 3/4 of men? Don't forget
Yeah.
about the other quarter. That's women, right?
Yeah.
And there's so many people that like commit suicide.
Yeah.
That there's so many people, way too many people. The fact that these people feel like they don't want to live in this world because they can't open up, they can't deal with their problems, they have nobody to talk to, they think that nobody's on their side.
Yeah.
That's frightening, man. That is so frightening. That is like imagine your child. Like, that is someone's child who's committed suicide.
Oh, yeah.
Whether they be 40, whether they be 50,
Someone's good.
whether they be 80, 90, someone has birthed that person,
Yeah.
And they feel like they have to take their life because
They can't.
they
deal with
can't
it.
talk about their problems, they can't deal with their problems.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just like, obviously I use divorce as a thing, right? But I saw something the other day. There was this Sikh guy who he was a student from India,
Yeah.
and he committed suicide because he had so much debt.
Damn.
You know,
There's actually
like,
extremely high suicide rates in India, especially when it
Yeah,
comes to
there's-
actual students. When they fail
Yeah.
and shit.
like, because they feel so much shame,
Yeah.
and their families shun them.
Yeah.
But there's so much pressure on most Indian families because they expect their like pupils to just study, like do nothing but study.
And not have a
That's why the
social life.
Western Indian like people, there's still pressure, but the pressure's not as much.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful that I wasn't born in India because I feel like I'd have so much more.
Shots
I feel like
fired
I'd
to
have.
everyone in India.
No, but like I feel like I have so much pressure on me, and I
Yeah.
have to work all the time. I fucking hate revising.
I mean, yeah.
I hate revising. That's the
Nobody
why I
likes
didn't go to university. I hate revising. I hate doing
I'm
work.
not really revising much at uni, to be honest.
Yeah, bro, you didn't
A-levels was
revise for
way
A levels. You did barely revise for A levels, man. Be
A-levels
quiet.
was way more.
Oh, shut your mouth, man.
So
Just,
that was
just
4
shut up.
different subjects.
Bro, just shut up. Just don't talk. Just shut up. I don't want to hear it.
Jealous of my natural smartness for not needing to revise.
Just his natural knack for business and
It's
understanding.
in my genes, blood.
It actually is. My man's just always on that business thing.
Yeah.
Why did you say it like that? You sound like a retard.
I'm trying to mimic you. I'm trying to mimic you.
Trying to mimic me now.
Yeah.
Man, I got my fists clenched. We'll go 1v1.
Okay. I mean,
No, I just beat you in FM as well. So be quiet.
I've only just started my career.
I don't care. We had the whole
I've
season
been
already.
fighting for longer than you, so
I don't care. Do I care?
yeah.
I beat you 1-0. Hold that L. Hold a firm
What
L.
about all those wins in Ultimate Team? All those.
Do I care about FIFA? Was I talking
Yeah.
about FIFA? I was talking about FM. Thank
So
you very
what?
much.
That's less skill.
No, what do you mean? It's
He's
less
leaving
skill.
up
It's
to
more
the
tactical,
simulation.
bro.
Bro, the
That's
goal
what I mean,
literally
bro.
like flies in the air.
Nah.
Yeah.
It's more skill because you have to be tactical, bro. You have to have a brain. By the way, guys, we've been banging Football Manager 20 like the last week or so,
Yeah.
and we've just been smashing through it. Go bare seasons in,
Rip
but you lot
Vivek.
probably don't give a shit
Rip
about
Vivek,
this.
he's got his squad.
No, man, Vivek's a waste, man. No, I'm calling you out on this, yeah? My man never comes on. It says he's online on Steam, but he won't join our save.
Sorry, guys.
I'm
can't
calling
join.
you out. Sorry, guys, I can't join. Nah, bro, if you're on FM, I can see
He's playing
you.
by himself.
Playing by yourself. Just join the save. You don't have to chat or nothing. Nah, it's calm. Don't worry, bro.
But when coming back to suicide rates, right?
Yeah, come back to that. Oh my god.
If you look at
Whoa, bro, that was such a bad tangent. That was really insensitive. I'm really sorry.
But going back to suicide rates, if we look at the global figures, 800,000 people a year
That's so many people.
suicide. That's double the rate of homicides.
That's so many people.
So double the rate of people
the rate of
are
homicides.
killing themselves. Yes, that's double the rate of homicides.
So that's more people. More people are killing themselves than people are killing them.
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
This is statistic I got from WHO. So
Okay, well, that's all right.
you can blame them if it's inaccurate, but that's what I
But
got.
that's just figures that we found.
Yeah, but that's crazy.
That's
100,000
so
people.
mad.
And you want to know, like, double the amount of men than women are victims of that.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. It's insane. It's proper sad to see as well.
And I was looking through all the countries, because you can look through each country, and you can actually look at the comparative figures for women and men. And I could not find a single country where the suicide rate was higher for women than men. And there was some country like Ukraine where it was like fucking 6-7 times more higher for men. You know, like, it's ridiculous.
That's mad.
The fact that I couldn't find a single country where the suicide rate for women
Even
was
like one
higher.
of them random countries that no one knows of.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a good thing. I'm not trying to look for high suicide rates for women, but I'm just trying to make a point here that men's mental health is so shit.
It's so shit.
It's a knock-on effect, right? So obviously your mental health is shit, and then obviously because of toxic masculinity, you don't feel like you can express yourself, and because you can't express yourself, you don't go and seek help. You know, a lot of men don't go to therapists; they just deal with it themselves.
They try and deal with their own problems.
Yeah,
but then,
by
and then when they try to go to their friends or something, their friends don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah,
No, I feel like men, like I think
Don't
the
know how to help
generation
other
above
men.
us, the generation above us, I feel like they don't know how to talk to each other when it comes to mental health and when it comes to talking about their feelings,
Yeah,
because they kind of grew up not acknowledging those feelings. They're not acknowledging that what they feel actually matters and can actually affect them.
yeah,
You know, I think they just kind of they just went with the flow. They kind of just stuck their head down and they just sort of got on with stuff.
yeah. So they don't know how to relate to people who are struggling, obviously.
Yeah, so they don't know how to relate. They don't know how to talk to.
It takes a level of
people,
emotional
you know?
intelligence.
Yeah,
to
like
understand that.
here we go. So here's another sociology thing. In the family, the women are meant to, I put that in air quotes, meant to provide emotional support for their family, as well as, well, the other ones don't matter, but this one's like emotional support. They're meant to be like the main emotional support center for the rest of the family. That includes the man's mental health, you know?
Yeah. But
So
what's the reality of it, though?
But the reality of that is the man won't come to the woman for emotional support.
Yeah.
The children might, but the man won't.
Yeah.
And the boy will probably, if there is a kid and it's a boy, they'll look up to their dad, right?
The thing is, I saw this is a very good story. It's always about, you know, there's this father who's like a fucking drunk and addict, and he's done shit his whole life and been a failure because he's just never like taken his life seriously. And he has two boys. One boy looks at his father and he's like, "That's my dad. I'm gonna copy him and whatever." And there's another boy who's like, "That's my dad. I don't want to be nothing like him. You know, I want to learn from his mistakes and avoid being like that." So there are boys who look at their fathers and be like, "I don't want to be anything like that," which is, I mean, for me, I don't want to say necessarily I don't want to be anything like my dad and how he acts, but sometimes I'm like, okay, well, sometimes you can express your feelings. I want to be able to do that for my kids, you know, and be able to come to them and speak to them and ask them how they're doing. So from that perspective, I'm learning from him. You know?
Yeah, I get that. Like you wanna take the positives,
Yeah.
and you wanna turn the negatives into
something-
positives.
Yeah, exactly.
You wanna turn it into something. You wanna learn from the negatives and make them positive for yourself, and take those positives that you have from your dad, and you know make them your own. You know,
Yeah.
like I feel that. I feel that.
Yeah, I think everyone and everything you do in life has a lesson to teach you, right? So, I mean, looking at other people and seeing how they're dealing and going through things, you can apply that to yourself and like kind of learn from that shit, you know. Which
Yeah,
is why
so
obviously we're talking about this on the podcast. You know, our experiences, how we got over the humps, and how you
yeah,
can,
like
progress.
how we get over everything, you know, like
Yeah,
just obviously coming out with this kind of stuff. Like
it's
I've
not
had
easy.
people say like, oh, like I respect how open you are with your mental health, how you kind of come out with a lot. It takes a lot of a bottle, but for me, now that I've talked about it once,
It's easy to talk about again and
it's
again.
so easy just to come out with everything. Like
Yeah,
it's like a weight off your shoulders. Like it's just I want to be that guy that maybe tells or shows every other guy who watches this, who listens to this, just come out with what you're feeling. You know,
yeah.
there's no shame in doing it. There's no
I mean, that's why we're making ourselves like vulnerable. You know,
yeah.
like
I'm being so vulnerable. I'm telling you so much about myself. Like I'm putting this out there for people to listen to because I hope that one day people come to this. People will maybe that's why we're making this. Hopefully, someone comes to this, listens to this, and it changes their lives.
yeah,
Imagine that happens. Like, imagine how sick that would be. Like, if this could even help one person, like one,
yeah.
just to like open up, be better with themselves,
Even if you're
accept like their
even if
flaws.
you're a female, you know,
Yeah,
this is
even if
not
you're a female.
exclusive to men. You know,
Yeah, but
obviously girls
obviously
are
it's
going
not.
through shit as well.
Obviously, it's not exclusive to men, but because we are men,
It's easier to talk about that
it's
stuff.
easier to talk about our sort of experiences.
Yeah,
But if you're a female and you haven't come out with your mental health issues either, I implore you, like,
talk to somebody.
talk to someone. Like, whether it be your best friend, whether it be your family member,
Just someone who you trust.
someone who you trust, even if it means getting professional help, like, just go out there and tell someone. Because I'm telling you now, it takes more than just a weight off your shoulders. It takes, like, this undying pressure.
I mean,
It's like someone's holding you down, like
it's
someone's
not
pushing
even
you.
it's not even necessarily always about talking. It's also about expressing your feelings. So I can say for myself, even though I was very open with my feelings and emotions, I was going through a lot of shit between the ages of like 14 to probably 14 to 16. Yeah, I could say that. And in that time I hadn't cried in such a long time.
I can feel that too.
And
I feel
because I was at the point where I was like, look, I ain't gonna cry, I'm not a pussy, even though I was very open at that time. But the thing is, I was also not living with my parents then. Obviously I moved.
Do you know what?
Right?
I'm so happy you brought this up.
Yeah.
Cause I was literally just about to bring this back up.
Yeah.
I was literally just about to. I was gonna just say, like, going back the times like when we were younger and stuff, we're told not to cry. Then there was like a period of time from when you just begin to just stop crying. You just, even if something sad happens, even if like a family member passes away or like anything, you just don't cry. You just suck it up and you're just like,
Yeah.
let's just not do this. Let's just not cry. Let's just firm it.
Yeah. So when I was moving from Dubai back to England, and I left my parents there when I was coming back here. That was difficult for me, and my mum was upset. My dad was upset, but because I didn't want to upset them even more, because the thing is, I was thinking, look, if I cry right now and if I'm upset and I show them I'm upset, then it's gonna make them feel worse. So look,
That's the thing as well.
I'm just gonna
like,
man up about it
just man up.
and
Let's just get
on with it. And
just go
so
on.
for years I was like struggling by
Mhm.
myself. Obviously, I was living with grandparents, but obviously, you know, older generation, they don't understand any of that shit. You can't really talk to them about any of that stuff. So I just manned up for it. So there was a long period of time where I wasn't expressing my emotions or talking to anyone about anything. And then probably about age 17, 18, you know, I just broke out crying. It all just came out. And that was the best cry I ever had, because it was just years and years and years of just shit. And sometimes that just one little thing takes you over the edge, and you just let yourself feel how you feel, and you feel great. You know, you feel great after that.
I felt that, bro. Literally, that one when Juice WRLD died. That was at the tip of the iceberg. I don't know what it was. Like, so much happened in that day.
Yeah.
There's just so much happened in that day, and it was like the tip of the iceberg. It's like there was this plug that was holding up all of these tears. It was like just stuck there. And then that bit of news just popped out the plug and the flood rained. You know, it was mad. And after that, I felt proper good. Like, it took a while to get over, like, everything. But I felt like all the depressed shit from, like, a couple of years back kind of just died there and then, you know?
Yeah, I get what you
I
mean.
feel like I was carrying all this baggage, and then all of a sudden, the baggage, I dropped it somewhere and I can't find it again,
You know
so I
when
don't
Goku,
care about
you
it.
know when Goku takes off his weighted shit? That's exactly
Yeah,
how
literally,
it
you have a
felt.
spring in your step.
Yeah.
Literally, like, the next, like, couple of weeks after that, I just felt so much better. Like, even in lockdown, I burst out crying. Like, I just burst out crying. Like, I had enough.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like, it just, again, so much happened. Like, obviously,
That's a lot of
you're
people's
stuck
situation, isn't
stuck in, like, everything like that. Like, there's so many people probably were in my position who lost their jobs. They haven't got their friends to really, like, speak to all the time. They can't see anybody.
And sometimes
There's
they
people
have.
in worse positions than me
Oh yeah.
that
for
haven't
sure.
seen, like, their friends or family members. Like, they live on their own.
And they're conflicting with their family as well. You know, we're not
Yeah,
all
like,
lucky
there's
to be on good
conflict
terms
too.
with family.
Like, that's probably there's people in so much worse positions than me. And I
That's kind
bet
of how
that,
you make yourself feel better about your situation. You just think, look, I'm grateful for where I am, although all this shit's happened to me.
there's people worse off.
It's people worse off. Just carry on, you know,
But
get through it and keep going.
But that doesn't give you an excuse not to, like, express your feelings.
Oh no, for sure.
And
Express your feelings.
that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah.
They use it as an excuse to not express their feelings. Like, oh, there's people worse off than me. I shouldn't be sad.
No, be sad, but also humble yourself.
Yeah, be sad but humble. Like, I think that's probably the best thing you can possibly do. Like, if you are built on pride, you should at least acknowledge that you're not okay. Like, surely you yourself, if you want to keep your pride intact, you got to look after yourself, no?
Yeah.
So why are you not looking after yourself? How is that retaining any sort of pride that you have?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that.
I don't get it, and the thing is, I don't get it, but I did it.
Yeah. That's
So
the thing. We always give advice, but the thing is, we never always do it ourselves.
I can't take my own advice.
Yeah.
Have you heard the thing? The coach don't play.
Yeah.
That's me, bro. That is me. I
You
can't take
play
my
'cause
own advice.
you're not fit. You're fucking fat. That's why. So
Yeah,
you run out of
I'm
energy.
fat, bro. I run out of energy. I won't even get
I
up.
mean, you still play better than Sanchez for United. So
Oh, 100%, bro. He was dead. He was so dusty done. He was, whoa, my gosh. Speaking of Sanchez, actually, he came out with a statement relatively recently,
what was it?
which kind of links to a mental health thing. He said as soon as he entered Carrington, which is, I think is it a training ground? I don't know.
No clue.
I don't know. It's something to. I'm such a bad Manchester United fan. I'm so bad, honestly. But I just know the name of the thing. He was like, "Can we turn back? Can I go back to Arsenal?"
Yeah, I remember that.
And then when he said that, he was like, "Yeah, being a Man United was such a bad idea." You know, like,
Lukaku would probably agree.
no, but Lukaku. The thing with him, at least he played games and did alright. Sanchez was just, he was just totally shit.
Yeah, I mean, going to sports, right? Like you just brought us onto the topic of sports. There's a lot of sports, like players. Like, say, for example, the NBA. There's some certain players that came out with the mental health issues. One notable person was DeMar DeRozan, and he helped a lot of other NBA players open up about their mental health. When it comes to athletes and very masculine sports, that's probably where toxic masculinity is very, very high, because you're with other dudes who are probably grown up with that same sort of mindset where it's like, crying and showing your emotions and shit like that is seemed as like being a pussy.
Yeah, like what we were saying before
Yeah.
when we were younger. Like, I feel like it's something that's developed over time and it's become a lot better.
Yeah.
Which is good. Which is what we want. We want it to progress. We want
Yeah,
it to
for
be
sure.
this good thing.
And our generation should be, the leaders for kind of changing the perspective of mental health for men and
making it-
women.
For men and women both. Like, I
Yeah.
think because we're so aware, like everyone, like this generation is known as the snowflake generation, because all we do is, like
Get upset.
we get
about
offended, but upset by everything. But what people don't understand is,
shit. They take it too far.
hopefully, suicide rates will drop because of our generation.
Yeah.
Hopefully, people won't feel the need to want to end their lives because they can't deal with certain things.
Yeah. I mean, you say that, but even for under 25s, that statistics has been rising a lot, especially for women.
See, that's what I mean. Like, it's always going to be up there, but I think the best part about us and our, like, is the people that are knowledgeable and have actually got experience with coming out with their mental health and opening up about it.
Yeah.
So, for example, I'm not trying to be like big-headed or anything. Like, me and you, for example, we've obviously come out with our mental health. We said that we've had issues, how we've solved them, how we've been feeling. We've already said it. Like, we've said it in today. We said it just right now.
Yeah.
I feel like we'd be more, I guess, quote unquote, qualified.
Yeah.
To be, like lead the new generation of people that, like our eventual kids,
Set an example for
and set an example for them. And
those kids then set an example.
Those will set an example for the next, and hopefully it'll have a knock-on effect, and it will just be hopefully they'll be better with mental health issues than us.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I feel like in schools, isn't it becoming like a thing, like mental health awareness stuff?
Yeah, for sure. Mental
There's
health.
this mental health awareness like week or something, or a month.
A lot of schools are investing a lot more into having therapists on site.
Yeah,
and shit
like
that.
in America and stuff. I know they have like therapists in their schools.
Yeah, I mean they have a
I don't
really
know
bad.
why the UK don't have that. Like,
I mean, some UK schools, Beecham had it.
Did they? Who do they have?
I don't know the name of the therapist, but they had one. You book an appointment with her and you speak to her and shit like that. There's also guidance counselors and shit like that.
Guidance counselor, yeah, I did go to them, but that was for educational guidance.
Yeah, because you're fucking retarded.
No, it's because I didn't want to go to uni and I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, retarded. And on that note, thank you for listening.
Actually, we do. Do we have it? Here's his question then. I guess everything we've talked about leads to this question. Does toxic masculinity cloud men's mental health? I mean, we've kind of discussed the reasons already.
Yeah.
There's nothing saying that it doesn't.
No, for
really.
sure it does.
It has to. Like, it's just such a big thing. Toxic masculinity is just one of those things where
It's a barrier for when men want to express themselves.
yeah, it's a barrier. I couldn't have said it better. It's a barrier. That's actually such a sick way to say it. It is like a cutoff. It is a disconnect from mental health. Like, it's so bad. It's just really shit.
But
So-
props to the people, whether you're a man or a woman, because there's also toxic, femininity, which is obviously the totally other side of it.
Yeah, the total other side. Yeah.
And women are seen as they're expressing their emotions too much and shit like that.
Yeah, and
nobody
then they get
nobody gives a
judged for
fuck
that.
if you're expressing yourself too much.
No
Express
one gives a
and
fuck.
feel how
Express-
you feel.
Yeah, express how you want. I mean, tell people your problems, but I guess tell people who care. Tell people who will actually go out of their way,
I mean,
listen to you.
Sometimes you don't even need advice back. You just need someone there to
You just need to
listen
vent.
to you.
Sometimes you just need a vent.
Yeah, you need someone there to listen to. Sometimes.
Someone who's a good listener, someone who will just listen to you and be like, yeah, I mean, I totally get where you're coming from. I mean, you have every right to feel the way that you do, and just sort of just help you to feel at ease. That's like the main thing that you need.
I mean, you
really.
just have to think, what have I got to lose by expressing how you feel? You got
Yeah.
nothing to lose.
You got nothing to lose. Oh, someone will judge you. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, and if they judge you, they're not your
Who gives a
friend.
shit? They're just a cunt. You know, like go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Honestly, go fuck yourself. If you're gonna judge someone because they're coming out to you with their problems, with their mind, yeah, shut your mouth in it. Like, not hearing that at all.
Well, that was a. I
I
hope
think that was a good conversation.
Yeah,
That was a good
I
conversation.
hope a lot of you can, relate. And well, actually, I don't hope you can relate, but I hope if you had problems, you can understand how we went through our problems, and you're not alone. We've been through the exact same things as you have, whether you're a guy or a girl. You can express how you want to feel. Talk to the right people.
You talk.
Cry if you want to cry.
Cry if you want to cry. Do what you gotta do to feel better. Because
if we had a merchandise, I would put that on a t-shirt. Cry if you want to cry.
Cry if you want to cry.
Yeah.
Nah, that's a decent one, to be fair. I rate that. Yeah, but yeah, just be you. I guess. I guess that's the thing. Just be you. Come out with what you got to come out with. Don't be scared to do it. I mean, there's nothing really else you got to say on top of that, no?
Yeah, that's it. Well,
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Hope we were helpful, even if it was for one person.
Yeah.
I
hope you learned more about us as well. I hope that's sort of...
We're building a relationship with you.
Yeah, we're trying to build a relationship with you. We're trying to be open with you. So maybe you like go in the comment or something and you be like, I like this. I like that you're coming out with this kind of stuff, that kind of thing. Maybe you'll come out to us. Like, feel free to reach out. If you know me, DM us. Like, go follow us on Twitter or Instagram. DM us on there. Like, we'll try and reply to you. Well, we will reply to you. Like,
even if you just want us to listen to you.
Yeah, even if you just want us to listen, like, just go for it. Just honestly, like,
our DMs are open.
Yeah, always open. If you know me,
you could just DM the Simcast.
Feel free.
We'll reply.
DM the Simcast, but even if it's like a personal friend or whatever, like just whatever. DMs are always open. I'm always here, so go for it. Anyway, thank you for listening. It has been a very, very good conversation. I think it's a very important one as well. If you did enjoy, hit the like button. If you think it might help someone, share it with people. I'd love for this to just sort of be out there for people to listen to and hopefully help people. I guess this is like a reason we've made this as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, if you want more content from us, please do subscribe. We're trying to hit 100 subs by the end of the year. That's my goal anyway.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Let's go for 100 subs by the end of the year. Let's try and do it. So make sure you subscribe. Join the Simpcast gang, all right? What are we going to call it? What are we going to call people? What are we going to call the subscribers?
Simps. I mean, it makes the most sense, right? We call them Simps.
The casters.
Yeah, the Simps. We call them the Simps.
The Simps.
Simp Squad.
Simp Squad. Okay, yeah. All right. Subscribe to be part of Simp Squad.
You know how it's like the Suicide Squad? We got the Simp Squad.
We got the Simp Squad.
Okay, that's not a great comparison because we just talked about Suicide and shit, but I was talking about the DC gang,
Oh
the
my god,
superheroes.
bro, that was so bad.
I was talking about the superhero gang.
Alright, we gotta end this, man. Thank you for watching. Like I said, like, subscribe, share with some people, let's get this out there. And we'll see you on the next podcast, or potentially maybe a midweek video or something. We'll see. Wag one. Alright.
Bye bye.
See you guys.